if you're a very small organization and you only have a handful of leases and they're not very complicated, you may get away with using a spreadsheet. Because this, if you don't have foreign currencies and you don't have anything unusual in those leases, you might be able to get away with a simple Excel model. The only thing is, like everything in Excel, it requires manual intervention. And anytime you're using inputs and you're doing things to an Excel model, you're increasing the amount of or increasing the risk of human error that can be made. If you have anything, once you start getting into double digits in leases, or you have any sort of what I say or complicating aspects to your lease, whether you've got leases that are in foreign countries or you've got leases that are denominated in a foreign currency other than your reporting currency, and you have escalations or you have abatements, rent holidays, or build to suits, or all these sorts of things that can come into lease accounting, then having a software is key to your survival, really, for your mental health and the ability to report and disclose accurately. What I usually like to say is you can use Excel to get to day one accounting, but you need lease software for day two, because you can use Excel, you can calculate all the assets, all the liabilities, you can develop amortization schedules, you can do everything to get the numbers that you need for day one to adopt it. But then day two, when you have to do all the journal entries and you have to do amortization schedules, and then down the road, if you make changes to leases, whether you're modifying them because you're upsizing, downsizing, or you're renewing, or you're doing terminations, those require completely overhauling every Excel model that you have. And Excel isn't great at consolidation unless you do a lot of manual input. So like I mentioned before, if you have leases that are in different currencies, in different jurisdictions, and you have leases with different discount rates, the lease software will do all of that work for you with minimal input from you. You're able to populate tables, you can populate databases. And what lease software gives to you that Excel doesn't either is the administrative tools that you may not have used before or may not have thought that you needed before with regard to lease management. This is no longer just a purchasing or an accounts payable function where someone's paying the lessor once a month. And as long as we're comfortable with the amount of expense that we're recording, we weren't too concerned about it. But now that everything's on the balance sheet, we have assets, we have liabilities, and depending on what kind of lease it is, we have to map where those expenses are going. Having those tools to provide that administrative capabilities is key. Almost every lease software provides a functionality of being a document repository. And I know we found from working with a lot of clients, working with a lot of people, that just knowing where all the lease copies are is one of the hardest parts of an engagement, or part of getting into this adoption and starting to wrap your arms around your lease population. Using a lease software, populating that with all of your documents, with all of your key dates, does centralize that process for you. And it gives you the ability to remind you of key dates so that you don't miss termination options, you don't miss extension options, purchase options, those sorts of things. And having that reporting capability at the touch of a button is priceless.